Hi, my name is Sarah, and today I'm going to show you how to make Chiles Rellenos. Chiles Rellenos are a traditional Mexican recipe consisting of blistered and roasted Poblano peppers cut open and stuffed with Oaxaca cheese and onions, dipped in an egg batter, and served with a pureed tomato sauce. This recipe comes from Erica Sanchez and her cookbook, Buen Provencho, Traditional Mexican Recipes from My Cocina to Yours. So I've got my 4 beautiful Poblano peppers here. They've already been rinsed and dried, and I'm just gonna take a little bit of canola oil and spread it all over the peppers. You want it to cover the whole surface. This is going to just help them not stick to the oven and char a little bit better. So I don't want to get a little messy here, just making sure that it's fully covered. You only really need about 1/4 teaspoon per pepper here. So you can set your oven onto broil and put the shelf as high as it can go. They're only going to need about 3 to 4 minutes on each side under the broiler, but just make sure to use your tongs and carefully take them out because it's going to be very hot. All right, so they're all blistered, nice and charred. Now we're going to go ahead and take them, put them right into a Ziploc bag. This is just going to help them steam. So be very careful because they're going to be very hot. And we're just going to use the tongs here. So these will steam for about 10 minutes, and this will just make it really, really easy to peel that charred skin off the peppers. So just seal that up and give that about 10 minutes to steam. So the peppers have been steaming and they're ready to be taken out of the bag so that we can peel the skin. So you're gonna wanna hang on to the peppers by the stem when you do this, and you can either use the back of a knife or the side of a spoon, but you'll see that the skin comes off super easily after steaming. Like barely any effort needs to be exerted here. It's usually easy if you can find where it's already sort of lifting up and then just guide the skin back. You wanna be somewhat gentle here so you don't puncture the actual pepper. Because we are going to cut it so that we can stuff it, but we only want it cut in one spot, so be a little careful here. So we've got all of our skin off. Now we're just going to cut it open. We're going to do a vertical slice, and we're going to go about 1/2 inch from the stem and 1/2 inch from the tip. Making sure we're not cutting all the way through, just on one side of the pepper. Okay. Nice. And we're going to take our spoon and scrape out as many seeds as we can. We've got to make room for all that delicious Oaxaca cheese and onions. And they aren't attached very tightly in here. It's super easy to just scoop these right out after steaming. Now that we've got as many seeds out as we can, we're going to go ahead and start stuffing our peppers. So I've got some Oaxaca cheese and some onions, some sliced onions. So we're going to do about 3/4 cup of cheese per pepper. I mean, depending on size, but that's about how much you want. So we're going to start with the cheese, and then we're going to, once we've got a good amount in here, add a couple slices of onion right on top, like 4 or 5. All right, that's about 3/4 a cup. And I'm going to take a couple of these onion pieces and just lay them in there. Tuck them in. All right. Now, to make sure that this stays closed, we're going to use a toothpick just to fasten it together. I'm actually going to use 2. So however many you need to get it closed. It's a little bit delicate, of course. There we go. So we got our first one stuffed and ready to go. So the next step we're going to do is make our egg batter, and we start by separating our eggs, and we're going to do egg whites in a big bowl and egg yolks in the second bowl, a little bit smaller. And after we've got these fully separated, we're going to add 1/2 teaspoon of salt to our egg whites. Going to just add our salt here. And we're gonna beat this on medium speed. You just wanna make your egg whites nice and foamy, and we're gonna beat it all the way until we get stiff peaks. just gonna test here. So we've got nice stiff peaks, okay. So now that our egg whites are all whipped up, we're going to just take a fork and beat our egg yolks just a little bit. And then we're gonna just go ahead and combine these right into the whipped egg whites. Using a rubber spatula to really get all that yolk. Okay. And just folding this in gently. You don't want to just get all that air that you whipped in out. Just until it's combined and you can't see any visible separation. The next step is to dredge your poblanos, and that's just going to help coat them in a nice coating so that when they fry it really holds together nicely and it's a nice golden brown on the outside. So either holding the stem, or if it's a little bit more fragile, you can use a set of tongs to help you. You're gonna dip it in flour first. And then into our egg mixture. Just making sure it's evenly coated. Shake it so that all the excess can come off. And we're gonna go ahead and coat it with this egg mixture. All right, flip it. It's nice and coated. And then we're gonna take this and drop it right into our hot oil. It's a little bit finicky, but just have a little patience here because it's a thicker batter. Now we're just going to lower this right into our hot oil. We're just gonna fry this until it's a little golden brown on each side. As gently as possible, we're going to flip this over. I'm gonna use a combination. Oop, there we go. Little bit of a mess, but you know what? That's okay. Now we're gonna start making our tomato sauce. So we've got 2 tablespoons of oil in a hot pan, and then we're going to take our halved tomatoes and our sliced onion and our clove of garlic, and we're gonna cook this all in a pan until our tomatoes start to get soft and the skin starts to peel. This will just begin the cooking process before we blend everything up and then return it to the pan. We're gonna turn these frequently just so we get even cooking on all sides. And we're gonna do this until our tomatoes start to blister and the skin peels, and they will be just starting to get soft as well. These are starting to get nice and blistered. You can see that the skin is just starting to blister here, and they're just getting a little bit soft. So we're gonna do this about 10 minutes, and when they're done, we'll transfer them right into the blender. All right, we are ready to transfer all of these gorgeous veggies into our blender. So I'm just gonna start by taking out each tomato. Tomato. Gotta get all those onions and garlic. So much good flavor in there. We're gonna go ahead and add the rest of our water so that we can get a nice puree. So I'm adding 2 cups here. All right, and I'm just gonna pop the top on this and blend her up. All right, that looks nice and pureed. So we're just gonna pop the top off of this, and it goes back into the pan to continue cooking. right, we're gonna put that heat back on so it can start to heat up and thicken a little bit. All right, now that we've got our sauce back in the pan, we're gonna go ahead and add salt. Add a little bit of our salt in there, get it nice and combined. And now that our salt's combined, we're gonna toss in our dried oregano. All right, let this fully combine and warm up. Okay, looks like we've got a nice boil going, so I'm just gonna stir this up and then lower the heat just a little bit, about to medium, so that it can simmer for about 5 minutes. And it smells amazing. This smells so good, and this sauce is gonna be the base for our dish, so this will be on our plate, and then we'll go ahead and put our chili rellenos on top, and it is gonna soak up all that delicious sauce. So it's time to plate, and our first step is going to be to take our delicious tomato sauce and just divide it among your plates, just to fill the full bottom. It's going to give a beautiful base for your pepper. All right, and placing our pepper gently in our sauce. Gorgeous. And last step, we're going to sprinkle it, just a little cotija cheese. And we're gonna take some fresh herbs. You can do cilantro, you can do oregano. We've got cilantro today. And just sprinkle over top. Doesn't that look so beautiful? So if you don't want to serve them just in sauce like this, you can always serve them over a little bit of Mexican rice and beans, and then take your sauce and just pour it over everything. Really anything that you put this in, it's gonna be delicious, but on its own, you can't beat it.